Hello everyone, this is Rekha Goyal once again with Rain on the Roof, Class 9 Beehive poem written by Coates Kinney. Let's have a quick introduction of the poet Coates Kinney. Coates Kinney was born in 1826 near Pan Yan, New York. He was partly educated at Antioch College, Yellow Springs, Ohio, and studied law with Thomas Corwin. He was admitted to the bar in Cincinnati in 1856. He became a journalist and worked on papers in Cincinnati, Ohio, Xenia, and Springfield, Illinois. He was a paymaster in the United States Army from June 1861 until November 1865 and was mustered out with the commission of Brevet Lieutenant Colonel of Volunteers. He was a delegate to the convention that nominated Ulysses S. Grant for the presidency in 1868 and its Ohio secretary. He was senator from the 5th district in the Ohio legislature in 1882-83. He wrote poetry and his verses were collected in Keuka and other poems and lyrics of the ideal and the real of his verses. The Rain on the Roof, which was set to music, was the most popular. He died in Ohio in 1904. Now let's see what the theme says. The theme of the poem is the healing power of rain, and rain is Mother Nature's way of showing her healing and therapeutic properties. The musical sound of raindrops falling on the rooftop at night has the ability to revive sweet memories and rouse fancies in an otherwise busy mind. It also leaves everlasting memories in the minds of humans, with its presence, fragrance, and sound apart from the experiences of humans with it. The rain thus soothes and comforts an overworked mind by taking it back to its lovely past. Move on to the poem basically. The poem tells us about the poet's sweet memory of his childhood. And in the poem, the poet expresses his love for nature and praises the healing power of rain, and especially when heard from a cozy bed in his lovely cottage, right? So, this is what the poet has mentioned in the poem since it is rainy season and when the rain falls and he doesn't want to come out from his bed. And what all memories are recall, this is what he is mentioning in the poem. When the humid shadows hover over all the starry spheres, and the melancholy darkness gently weeps in rainy tears. What a bliss to press the pillow of a cottage chamber bed and lie listening to the patter of the soft rain overhead. Now the poet is saying, when the humid shadow hover. Now humid here refers to the weather full of moisture and rain that we all know. Hover means moving around, right? So here the poet talks of his experience of rain. One day, as he was lying comfortably, he was in a leisure mood in his cottage, and he listens to the soothing music made by the shower of rain falling overhead on the roof. And this is what he is experiencing, and what he is experiencing, he is mentioning over there. When the humid shadow hovered over all the starry sphere, this is figure of speech alliteration, humid hover also alliteration, fine. And then starry sphere here refers to the sky filled with stars, right? The sky is clear enough and the whole sky is filled with stars and the weather is humid and it started falling, right? The shower started falling and the melancholy darkness gently weeps in rainy tears. Very important line over here. The poet further says that the sky is studded, thickly overcast, this melancholy darkness, right? Thickly overcast with cloud. So this it becomes so dark. A bit of darkness is over there, and this darkness is referred to gloominess, right? So it is all round. It is all round the melancholy darkness. Now see melancholy darkness. This is figure of speech transferred epithet because darkness here it is not personification simply. It is darkness refers to the people, those who are sad. Understand? So this rain, when it falls, when the raindrops fall on the earth, it seems as if the person who is sad, the person who is melancholy, he is shedding weep, right? Weep is shedding tears, right? Rain is has been compared to tears. So this man is shedding his tears. What a bliss. Now see the very second line, it is just contradictory. The second and the third line is very contradictory. What a bliss to press the pillow of a cottage chamber bed. What a bliss. Bliss here refers to blessing, happiness, right? And it is heavenly. It is a heavenly feeling. What a bliss to press the pillow. And in this atmosphere, when it is raining, and even the temperature also goes down to some extent. So the poet says it is so good. It is a blessing. It's a blessing. It is a happiness, and it is a heavenly experience to press the pillow of a cottage chamber bed, to lie down in the cottage chamber bed and lie listening. Lie means keep lying and listening to the patter. Patter here refers to the sound of raindrops, and as far as figure of speech is considered, this is onomatopoeia. So it is so good, it gives a heavenly experience, lying down in the bed, pressing the pillow of the soft rain overhead. Overhead here refers to when the raindrops fall on the roof, right? So the poet considers it a heavenly experience, a delightful experience to lie in the cozy bed, pressing the pillow, or pressing the head against the pillow, the soft pillow, and listening the pattering of the showers, right? So this is what in this very first stanza, the poet is all talking about his experience, how he feels when it starts raining, right? So now you see, already I told you second and third line, this is just contradictory to each other, right? In the second line, the poet is talking very much talking about the dark side, right? When the sky is dark, and there he's talking about the people, those who are feeling sad about whatever, right? And this rain has been compared to the tears also. So these men, those who are gloomy, those who are sad, they are shedding their tears in the form of rain. Fine. And the very third line, it talks about the delightfulness, the experience, how it gives a cozy experience to the poet. Keep lying in the bed and listening to the sound of patter of the rain. Now moving on to the next stanza. Every tinkle on the shingles has an echo in the heart, and a thousand dreamy fancies into busy being start, and a thousand recollections weave their air threads into woof, as I listen to the patter of the rain upon the every tinkle on the shingles. Every tinkle here refers to the ringing sound of the rain. Of the shingles here refers to tile of roof. When the rainfall showers or drops on the shingles on the tiles, it gives a musical effect. Has an echo in the heart. Echo is repeated sound, right? So it gives a musical effect. That means every tinkle of raindrop that falls on the tin of the roof, it produces an echo in the poet's heart, and the sweet memory of his childhood and a thousand dreamy fancies, right? This is sweet memories. Now here fancies here refers to memories. So all dreamy memories, that is how it is transferred epithet. And a thousand dreamy fancies into busy being. Here this is alliteration. And busy being start. Busy being here refers to recollecting. It is hovering, right? It is hovering in his heart, and the childhood memories of his. And with such feeling and imagination, he listens, he hears the patter of the rain on the roof. That means he creates a fanciful imagination. And then the poet also talks about the impact of music had by rain in his heart, and a thousand recollections weave their air thread into woof. Now woof is a thread woven across the loom. That means here we are talking about the fabric, right? So all these memories, a thousand recollection, a thousand memories, it seems as if they are weaving their air thread. They are weaving their air thread into roof. That means here the recollections are compared to the weavers and the memories to the fabric, right? So these recollections are slowly weaving into a fabric of imagination, fabric of recollections, fabric of memories. As I listen to the patter of the rain upon the roof, as it keeps on raining, as it keeps on showering down, and as it keeps on pattering, onomatopoeia is there, and he keeps hearing the rain upon the roof. Moving on to the very concluding stanza, now in memory comes my mother, as she used in years agone, to regard the darling dreamers ere she left them in till the dawn. Oh, I feel her fond look on me, as I listen to this refrain, which is played upon the shingles by the patter of the rain. Now the poet says, now in memory comes my mother. That means when the rain lashes the tiles of the roof of his house, the poet recalls his mother. As he sleeps in bedchamber, he recalls the affectionate look of his mother as she used in years agone. Agone here refers to years ago, right? To regard the darling dreamers. Now, darling dreamers here refers to all the siblings, right? So he recalls the face of the affection, the feelings of his mother, who used to come to them to say good night to them, and it would come to leave them at good night. And here darling dreamers that I told you, they are the siblings, as she left them till the dawn. Ere here refers to before she left them till the dawn, daybreak. So at the night when she used to come to them to say, to bid a good night to them, to all the siblings. Oh, I feel her fond look on me. So he recalls. Here the poet recalls the fond look that appears on her face when she looks at her children. With all these fond memories, he hears the patter of the rain on the roof. So, in this concluding stanza, the poet recalls his mother when she used to come to say, to bid them good night, and he at this time he could recall all the affections which he could see on the face of his mother. Oh, I feel her fond look on me when she would look at her children. So that was a very affectionate look, and he recalled that look as I list to this refrain. List is listen here, and refrain here refers to the sound of rain. So at this time, when he listened to the sound of rain, the memory aroused in his heart and his mind about the fond memories of his mother, and the affectionate look and the affectionate feeling which his mother used to shower on his children. Fine. So that's what the poem is all about. So altogether, the poem conveys the message that rain has a healing power and forms the lasting memories in the human mind of the sight, sound, fragrance, and our experiences associated with it. And rain also refreshes and rejuvenates us and forces us to recollect and relive our past memories. Now let's have a look at the poem. This is the gist of the poem. The poet tries to describe how he feels on a rainy day. The poet states that whenever it rains, he starts to recall all his past memories, and while lying on his bed in the cottage, he listens to the pitter patter sound of the rain. Right, this is the sound of the rain, and onomatopoeia as far as figure of speech is considered. As he listens to the sound of the rain, he starts to remember his old days when he was a little boy. Further, he remembers his mother, who is no longer, but her memories are always with him. In addition, he remembers how her mother used to take care of him during the rainy days so that he might not catch a cold. While listening to the sound of the rain, he remembers all the sweet memories of his past. Now, one thing I would like to tell you, at present, the poet is an adult, right? He is not a child. So at this time, at this age, when it is a rainfall, so he recollects all the memories of his childhood. So that's all for the poem. I hope you must have understood.